Libra, welcome to your end of September 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. I have a new card deck called the Holographic Tarot that's been very interesting to try out. And this is a period of time that, it's next month is going to be a big deal for you because you're going to have your first eclipse, a solar eclipse in your sign. So that can be very big deal for your life-changing energy, perhaps. I say perhaps because sometimes you might not notice any differences. That certainly happened to me when I had a solar eclipse in my sign or a lunar eclipse. So not to, I'm not about hype. I'm just about laying the cards down, pun intended. Heart of the matter, the moon card. So something not quite as it seems. The moon in astrology rules Cancer. The moon in the tarot is connected to Pisces. So Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and deception is one of the key words sometimes with this. It could also just be a very quiet time for you, a very receptive time, psychic, creative. But like I use the past position to kind of see what could be going on here. The King of Swords. So is this some guy who is really out of touch with his feelings? Aquarians much? This is air sign energy. Air signs are detached. This is the ultimate in detachment. The king can be the father. So maybe if this is a relationship situation, which actually it could very well be, because now that I think about it, you're going to have a full moon in Aries at the end of the month. I think it's the 29th, and it's going to be, that's your 7th house of committed partnerships. So that could bring something to light. The moon can be about secrets, right? So you may find out why your partner has been so detached lately. Maybe this is kind of a change in character, and you're like, what's going on? Well, there might be a very good reason why it's going on, and this is something that you perhaps may find out. But you may just be getting the half-truths too. The higher message is the 7 of Wands. This is a card of standing your ground. This is more of a spiritual message. So no matter what is going on, Libra, and also maybe the King of Swords is a boss who is very exacting and not very doesn't give much praise, and so you never know where you stand. The 7 of Wands is about, I think, even embodying this. It's not necessarily that you have to say anything specifically, but sometimes you do have to let people know where you stand. But this idea of like, if somebody is withholding affection, for instance, I think sometimes the tendency on the other person's part is to double down and give even more, like almost fear like they're being rejected or about to be rejected, so they give more. You might want to consider, if you're in that dynamic of holding off and not doing that. As a matter of fact, sometimes what I will do, if I'm dealing with somebody who's kind of like I feel is giving me the cold shoulder or just kind of not as friendly as they were, I might say to myself, gosh, I wonder what happened. Are they mad at me for some reason? And of course, you can always just ask somebody about that. But sometimes it's not necessarily cool because like if it's your boss and you say, are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? It sounds a little bit insecure or neurotic. And you don't necessarily want to do that, but you can, become detached. So instead of like trying to people please and, get them to smile at you or give you, attention, you kind of, it's like a form of withdrawal, but it's not about punishing somebody or manipulating or anything like that. It's just to protect yourself, but also to match the energy. Because otherwise it becomes lopsided. It becomes like you just trying to curry favor with somebody or trying to get them to, care, and them, having that upper hand sometimes if they are trying to manipulate, then they do that, and that's not a good situation. So you want to have the ability to kind of make yourself less vulnerable without being heartless. That's kind of the King of Swords might even be a little bit heartless. And you don't want to become like them if that's what they're doing. But by the same token, don't cast pearls before swine. What crosses you is the Knight of Pentacles. This is a card connected to Taurus, so I don't know if that figures into anything, but if so, I would say, the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, I don't think this would necessarily be you, but I'll just give a caveat. If this is a workplace situation, don't make the mistake of like trying to be passive aggressive by, doing your job in a half-assed way. That would be the tendency. If you feel like your boss is trying to manipulate you, maybe trying to get you to work even harder or accomplish even more when you're already doing a good job, you might just try to rebel by saying, screw it. I'll just kind of let him fire me and I'll collect unemployment or something. And so then you just barely do your job. And the thing is that that's being reactive. That's not really taking ownership of a situation that you find yourself in. So when when the Knight of Pentacles is being read in the upright position, I did not draw this card in reverse position, but I'm reading it that way because that's the challenging position. But when it's in the upright position, it's the more positive expression, and it's about the person with a good work ethic. So in the reverse position, the person may be a slacker, mailing it in, that kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, it's human nature. If you're not getting praise, to feel like you don't have much invested in that job, but resist that temptation, because be better than that. You don't have to sink to somebody else's level. This is personal. Oh, but also I was going to say about the workplace, this could be a situation where a coworker is actually the culprit in all of this and doing something behind your back, and they are a slacker, and maybe you are the one who is working diligently and they want to sabotage you in some way. So be aware of what is going on beneath the surface. I mean, sometimes it's hard because the person may be doing it surreptitiously, but still, that I feel like in the workplace, it's best not to, be too chummy with people. I know that a Libra person tends to want that kind of social interaction, but I feel that a lot of times people expose themselves to a lot of treachery, betrayal because of that. Because it's just been my experience that some people get really weird at work because some people are really, they get into that reptilian like survival mode, and then they are capable of kind of backstabbing other people. And I know maybe that sounds paranoid and cynical, so feel free to ignore what I just said, but that's just my view on things. Um, what's coming in is the Six of Pentacles, and this is a card of give and take. So that's another thing too. Like I should have said, like, in personal relationships, if you're with someone who is very like not forthcoming, they don't say they love you or any other things that, indicate that they care, and you feel very like, where do I stand with this person? Makes you feel very insecure. The Seven of Wands can be this sense of, do you feel on the defensive with this person? Do they tend to point out your flaws, but you don't hear anything good? Sometimes people get into this trap of, oh gosh, I have to prove that I'm okay to this individual. No, you don't. But you should be aware if they're employing these tactics of, no praise and little digs here and there, or little, observations that are critical of you that make you feel insecure. So be very aware of that. And the Seven of Wands is standing your ground. That doesn't mean that you just, defend your okayness. It can be as simple as, choosing who you spend time with. You don't even have to say a word, and just say, I'm going to hang around with people who have a good opinion of me. And with the Six of Pentacles, it can be attracting a give and take relationship. We actually have as the outcome the Six of Cups, which is the card of the soulmate. So that is really great for someone holding out for the soulmate. That is a card also of childhood. So it's the innocence of childhood. When you were a kid and you had friendships, obviously you didn't have like romantic relationships, but you had friendships. There's like this tendency to, I think in those relationships, they're very, very open and innocent. There wasn't game playing, manipulations. So going back to that type of relationship is so refreshing. This is a card of wholesomeness, of the, which is like the innocence. So if you're involved in some kind of like really toxic situation at work, you may be doing something that you've always wanted to do. And you feel like the energy that you're putting into it is, returned to you. I don't always think it's going to be financial. I mean, somebody could have a labor of love and they're not making as much money, but the feeling of satisfaction, or what's that other word, like not completion, but fulfillment, is sustaining them. So I want to advocate for that, because so many times we're told, like even in the New Age community, that it's like, oh yeah, accept your abundance and you have a right to abundance. And that's so true. But abundance comes in many forms. There's nothing abundant about making an above average income and having so much stress, having to wonder who's talking behind your back, the Moon card, like when is the other shoe going to drop? Those kinds of things are not worthy of you. So don't ever settle for less. All right, that's what I have for you, Libra. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.